Welcome every morning to the Morning Volatility Report. It is I, Andrew Giovinazzi, Chief Operating Officer of OptionBit.com, welcoming you to our Morning Vol Report. And as usual, we have lots of it, lots of vol. What do we have on Option Pit though? We launched some sheets with live vol. And look for Options Made Easy coming up in late January, early February. The next part of the cycle will be long-term investing with options, especially for this kind of market. High volatility. You want to protect like stocks or equity portfolios, stuff like that, where you want to use options for, instead of, I would say, a short-term trade, a long-term investment, something where you have a real opinion on the stock over a while and you want to try to maximize that. Okay, that will be Options Made Easy. That will be coming in late January, early February. All right, now let's look at today. Okay, let's hold on here. Blinky, blinky, blinky. We have more of the same. Okay, let's see here. Chart. Actually, I want my live vol chart up. Where did it go? I lost it. I've never done this before. Okay. All right. What do we have? Okay. 2%, 2%. How far low we go, I do not know. All I know right now is when I look at something like VIX. Okay, so the cash is winding up for SPX. It's not stopping. Okay, this is basically an explosion in the price of VIX. But you guys notice, like, there's vol is higher, but it was higher in the vol-apocalypse, right? So one thing as an indicator, and I'm not saying that this market route is over, is it's the orderliness of this rise in vol that is kind of weird. Meaning, we've got higher vol, right? Higher vol in VIX, but at least from the implied volatility side, nobody is, at least right now, nobody's predicting like VIX is going to go crazy. That VIX is necessarily going to come down super fast. Normally when you have really high volatility in the VIX options, both sides of the equation are kind of open, meaning each side is looking for, we could be up a ton or down a ton in vol. And right now what we have is just like, we definitely have a little higher vol, but it's not crazy high. Okay, it's not crazy high for what's going on, considering VIX is way up here. So this is what I would just call it's just an odd sell-off. I think this might be more of a lack of liquidity-driven sell-off than anything. More sellers and buyers, but they're not coming for vol and VIX, not yet. So if you want an indicator to look at, okay, keep an eye on just volatility of the options in VIX. It's the simplest thing to look at. This January is very, very active from a gamma point of view. This is the kind of stuff you keep, that's why live vol is a nice product for stuff like this. Keep an eye on the volatility of the individual options, right? If this really starts to spike, if you're looking at like the 30s, right, which looks in the money, but the future's low, if you see this spiking, things could get a lot worse fast. They're just not coming for this yet, okay? It's higher, but this also could be 190% vol, okay? This straddle right now is trading, the at-the-money straddle, the 25 straddle is trading $6, okay? It could be $8, no problem, okay? Really looking for a big swing in vol. So that's like why there's just this constant, continual selling. Mostly I think it's news driven because we've had no real good news in quite a while, it seems like. 2 weeks ago, VIX was 16. Clearly not there anymore. So that would be number one. Another thing, keep an eye on gold. Are they coming for gold? We actually looked at this as a little trade in our gold class, no pun intended. vol in here is higher, but it's not like everybody's running for the huge protection of gold yet. The vol's definitely higher, right? But it's nothing like it is here. So, there is a move toward the protective asset. There's a little move toward VIX, obviously just because VIX is going up. But at this point, if we're moving 2% a day, that's a 32 realized vol. 32 realized vol, VIX is fairly priced. And now the market's saying we're probably going to keep moving like that for a while because 30-day vol is now at a 33. So until something changes, we could keep seeing this press of volatility. The cheapest stuff to buy is stuff like gold. TLT, it's moving. Again, it is responding to, I guess, this is pretty decent. But again, vol-apocalypse-wise, stuff like that, we're still not back to that level yet. So it's moving. The vol is moving, but it's not, none of this is like panicky level stuff. It's definitely up there, but it's not, people aren't freaking out yet. So the short answer to all that is very hard to sell premium, pretty easy to buy VIX premium, pretty easy to buy gold premium. And as far as SPY, if we want to just fade the continued moves, keep using put butterflies or something like that. There's stuff there in our vol newsletter to trade the SPY and the vol products together. That would still work. But for right now, they keep winding. This rubber band keeps stretching. And I don't really see much to make it stop until we have some announcement like the trade war ends, some kind of something out of Washington that is remotely stable. Because right now all we have is continued layers of instability, and we have higher vol, and they just keep selling equities off. It actually doesn't really matter anymore. I think now everybody's looking at valuations like, oh my gosh, Apple's at a 9 PE, stuff like that. A lot of these tech stocks, they've taken almost 50% out of them. So, there's going to be at some point where this stuff is pretty cheap. So a way to trade it would be you could buy maybe long-term calls in some of the stocks you like and just buy in the money VIX call spread short-term and just start to ride that position. So that's something we'll talk about a little bit probably on Thursday when we do a short kind of vol and equity class, and that'll be kind of the stuff we learn in Options Made Easy coming down the road. So I don't see any reason for this to change right now. The other thing, the easiest thing just to look at, and it's free, is just look at, you look at VIX Made Easy, and you see this just extraordinary amount of backwardation in here. So the market's not ready to buy in totally. Wait till this curve really starts flying up when the expectation that this volatility is going to stay real high. So like I said, we're on the edge, but not quite there yet. But equities can keep going in one direction. All right, everybody, you have a good day, and I will talk to you later.